Hey, beautiful. Thank you for tuning in. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Ingrid Turner. I am a spiritual channel, psychic medium, and author, and I am the head minister and I run the school at the Bava Spiritual Mission, which is a nonprofit organization that aims to help you find your spiritual authority and build a platform to step out and deliver your message to the world. So the question that popped into my mind a couple of days ago that has just been churning in there just for myself, and I wanted to see how this churned for you as well, is how would you change your life if you weren't afraid to suffer? How would you change your life if you were not afraid to suffer? And this made me feel into the concept of suffering and pain and suffering. And to me, there's a real distinction between pain and suffering. Pain is the experience of the moment. Painful experiences are real. Emotional pain, physical pain, mental pain. These are real experiences that happen in the moment. And then there's suffering. The suffering is the continuation of that pain. It's the mind continuing to draw that pain out into our lives, into the future. So what we're really most afraid of, I feel, many of us, is not the experience of pain itself, but the suffering that comes with that. And I'm talking particularly about emotional pain right here. Emotional pain, you have grief or rejection or heartbreak, whatever you want to do, what is stopping you is the fear of that pain, but more than that, it's the fear of the suffering that goes with it, that's going to take it out, it's going to damage you, it's going to take it out into the world. It's the suffering, you've already created the suffering in your mind, even now, before the pain has occurred, or before the pain has an opportunity to occur. You know, pain, we're here for the whole spectrum of the human experience, the whole thing. And pain it's just as delicious. It's this divine experience, as is joy. But the pain, the grief that comes from experiences that jar us or shock us or, make us feel something, whatever it is that we're feeling, that emotional experience, it adds layers and layers and layers of depth, which helps us expand into our highest expression without giving ourselves the opportunity to experience whatever comes from the pull of our desire. Well, how would I change my life if I wasn't afraid of suffering? Maybe you would travel to Zimbabwe. But what comes up for you when you think about traveling to Zimbabwe, all mixed in with that desire, is I'm afraid of leaving my family or going far away. What if I don't know how to do something? What if I look like an idiot? What if I catch a weird disease? What if I don't want to get shots for, whatever it is that's coming up, you're afraid of the suffering. You're afraid of the pain, which is causing you the suffering, and you're afraid of the prolonged suffering from the fact after the pain, like this huge, but so much of that is just made up in your head. Even after the painful experience, the suffering that we create for ourselves with our mind, replaying the incident, making it mean something, taking it personally, if we could just let ourselves have the full experience and feel our goddamn feels right there in the moment, that painful experience that you're afraid of is going to add richness and depth so that you can step into something beyond your wildest dreams. Your desires are there for a reason, but they are not the destination. They are the signpost. I have a desire to go to Zimbabwe. If you release the fear of suffering and pain and trust and have faith that you're going to have the most amazing experience available to you because you are following that desire, then you're going to move into that space, move into that desire, move into that energy. Will there be painful experiences? I don't know. You don't know either. You're just afraid of it. Will there be joyful experiences? I don't know. You don't know either. You're just hoping for it. But you go and you're going to have exactly the experience you need, that divine, deep experience you need to step fully, completely, and totally into a new version of you that simply would not be possible if you didn't follow that pull, if you didn't follow that desire. How can you bypass your fear of suffering? Get present. Get into faith. Come to believe and understand. See how every experience in your life, good or bad, painful or happy, Every experience is divine, and it is ultimately helping to expand you and expand you and expand you so that you can land fully, completely, and totally in your divine authenticity and show up and be of service to the divine, be of service to yourself, to be happy, to be joy-filled. This is the purpose of your life, to be happy and joy-filled, and from that place of overflowing emotional abundance that splashes out onto everybody around you. And that's the impact you have on the world. The form it takes doesn't matter, but that's the essence you are here to emit. And the way you get there is you don't allow yourself to stay small and contracted because you're afraid of pain, because you're afraid of the suffering that comes from pain, the mental shit, right? You're already suffering because you have a mental fear of potential pain. Not even the definite pain, but potential pain. Like maybe there's something that could be painful. I might fail. I might get rejected. My significant other might not like it. My family might judge me. Get present. I want you to look back over your life now, and I want you to reflect on some of your most painful experiences, some of the things that happened to you that felt like they were devastating, like it was a disaster, a catastrophe. And fast forward to where you are now. Sort of follow the timeline to where you are now. And I want you to acknowledge how even those circumstances that were difficult and painful for you, how did they ultimately work in your favor? How did those circumstances, those experiences serve you? And how did you make it way harder for yourself by adding the mental story piece and creating suffering for yourself, prolonged suffering for yourself? Feel into it. Start to acknowledge and see how every experience, the highs and the lows, has been working to help expand you, to help you become a more authentic, lighter, brighter version of you. And then I want you to take that mental suffering that you have right now, which is your fear of pain in the future, your fear of pain from following your desire, which is pulling you in the direction of authenticity, of purpose. Take that suffering and move it aside. Let yourself feel the fear, dive underneath it, and then launch yourself into the stratosphere by following your dreams and following your desires. And again, your desires are not the destination. They are a signpost, but you don't see anything but the signpost. So follow the pull of your heart, which is pulling you towards a desire, which is a signpost, which is ultimately pulling you towards your highest expression, towards where you're really meant to get to in this lifetime, in this body, in this experience. And there is no happier place on earth for you than to follow that pull. Okay, so release the suffering right now. Accept that pain is a part of life, and it's okay, because every experience is divine. And as you move through that, and then you let it go and you don't carry it with you, it's only going to deepen your experience, expand your reach, and help you step more fully and completely into this joyous, free, authentic creature that you are meant to live. Thanks so much for tuning in, watching. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Where are you causing suffering for yourself? What are you afraid of right now? Can you let it go? Can you let it go? Can you move forward? Can you do this? I know you can. I know you can. I'm sending you all my love.